Today we will be doing simple past tense from the book Voices at Play. So please take a book and get ready. Okay, now please turn to page 255. Okay, get your pen and highlighter ready. So simple past is to describe past events. Personal recounts share experience that have happened in the past, and simple past tells readers that the experience have already taken place. When we read Mary Lou earlier, did you notice the simple past in this passage? Okay, some of the examples include the girl's whispers and giggles got louder and louder. Another example of the simple past is the other girls stepped back and became my cheerleaders. Now let's take a look at the Great Mouse Plot by Roald Dahl and see if you can spot any examples of simple past. Please get a highlighter ready. Okay, my four friends and I had come across a loose floorboard at the back of the classroom, and when we prized it up with the blade of a pocket knife, we discovered a big hollow space underneath. So, did you spot any simple past in this sentence? It's a pretty long sentence. So, one of it could be here, prized it open, up with, and then there's another one, discovered. Okay, this we decided would be our secret hiding place for sweets and other small treasures such as conkers and monkey nuts and bird eggs. So this is another example of a simple past. Okay, every afternoon when the last lesson was over, the five of us would wait until the class had emptied. Then we would lift up the floorboard and examine our secret hoard, perhaps adding to it or taking something away. So one example of the simple past would be when the lesson was over. Okay. Next. One day when we lifted it up, we found a dead mouse lying among our treasure. It was an exciting discovery. Thwaites took it by its tail and waved it in front of our faces. "What shall we do with it?" he cried. "It stings," someone shouted. "Throw it out the window quick." "Hold on a tick," I said. "Don't throw it away." Thwaites hesitated. They all looked at me. Okay, let's continue. When writing about oneself, one must strive to be truthful. Okay. Truth is more important than modesty. So that's a fact. As you can see, that is why it is in simple present tense. I must tell you, therefore, it was I and I alone who had the idea for the great and daring mouse plot. We all have our moments of brilliance and glory, and this was mine. So as you can see, the simple past is here. It was I, and I had the idea, and this was mine. Why don't we, I said, past tense, then when we put in, should grab it. Okay, the other four stared at me in wonder. Okay, as the sheer genius of the plot began to sink in, they all started grinning, slapped me on the back, cheered me, danced around the house. "We'll do it today," they cried. Okay, "You had the idea," they said. Okay, so you can be the one to put the mouse in the jar. So Twitch handed me the mouse. I put, okay, so this is a rather unique, irregular past, simple past. So put in simple present, put in simple past, put in participle. So there's no such word as put it, okay, for simple past. Then the five of us left, school crossed, the village green headed for the sweet shop. We were tremendously dressed up. We felt like a gang of desperados setting out to rob a bank or blow up the sheriff's office. Okay, moving on. Make sure you put it in a jar which is used often, someone said. So I can see that it is simple past here. I'm putting it in gobstoppers, I said. Okay, gobstopper is never far behind. It's never behind the counter. I've got a penny, so it said. So I'll ask for one sherbet sucker and one bootlace. When she turns away to get them, slip the mouse in quickly with the gobstoppers. Thus, everything was arranged. Okay, this is not simple past. Okay, this is past participle. We were strutting a little when we entered the shop. So here there's a simple past, and this is continuous. We were the victors now, and Mrs. Frederick was the victor in simple past. She stood behind the counter. Her small, malignant pig eyes watched us suspiciously as we came forward. "One sherbet sucker, please," Sweet said to her, holding out his penny. Okay, moving on. Oops. Okay, I'll do that. This passage, sorry. The passage moved. Okay. Let me find passage first. The passage moved. Okay. I kept to the rear of the group. When I saw Mrs. Pratchett turn her head away for a couple of seconds to fish a sherbet sucker out of the box, I lifted the heavy glass lid of the gobstopper and dropped the mouse in. Then I replaced the lid as silently as possible. My heart was thumping my mad and my hands had gone all sweaty. "And one bootlace, please," I heard Sweet saying. When I turned around, I saw Mrs. Pratchett holding out the bootlace in her filthy fingers. "I don't want all the lot of you trooping in here if only one of you is buying," she screamed. I asked, "Now beat it! Go on! Go out!" As soon as we were outside, we broke into a run. "Did you do it?" they shouted at me. "Of course I did," I said. "Well done, you!" they cried. What a super show! I felt like a hero. I was a hero. It was marvelous to be so popular. So, we have tried to find the um, examples from the text, uh, The Great Mouse Plot. Okay, so you can try reading Eric and find examples from the text itself. Okay, now let's move on. to the grammar. Okay, so we have, uh, can you turn to page 258? Okay, and then you will see this page here. Okay, so to recap, okay, you need to pay attention, okay, to the following guidelines when you're using simple past in your writing. And it's quite often that you use simple past because you try to recount what happened in the past. So when do you use simple past? You use simple past to show that something happened in the past. And usually there is a specific time in the past is stated. Okay. Now you change the form of the words, form of the verbs to indicate the simple past, and there are different guidelines which apply for regular and irregular verbs. So for the regular verbs such as cry, search, walk, travel, you add ed. Okay, and for some words the spelling might change. For example, you can see that cried, the y changed to ied. Okay, searched, no change. Walked, no change. Traveled, okay, is double L E D. Okay, for irregular verbs, there's no need for any change. So just now I said already, put, when it's simple past, do put. Cost, simple past is also cost. Burst, simple past is also burst. Cut, simple past is also cut. Beat, simple past is also beat. So for the irregular verbs, you have to pay attention to the way that each verb changes. So deal, dealt, okay, as with a T. Draw, A is changed to an E, drew. Freeze, you change it to the first. So what is one way to remember all these irregular verbs spelling? It is to read more, be exposed more words, and check the dictionary, or even memorize these common spelling of the irregular verbs. That is the only way that you can improve your language. Okay, read a lot more so that you know you are exposed to it, and the moment you read something, you know that okay, it sounds wrong. Okay, so let's continue to try the activity. Okay, so now we are now on page 259, task A. Fill in the space provided with the given verb in the simple past. So the simple present word is type. So the simple past word is type. Okay. Okay. Now the simple present word here is build. Okay. And for the simple past word, it will be a different spelling because it's a irregular verb. So how do you spell the word built in the simple past form? It would be B-U-I-L-T. Okay, make sure you actually remember that. I'm going to highlight it so that you know that is the difference. Feel. Okay, the simple past word is very common. What is it? What is it? Just now we went through it. Okay, it is felt. Okay, did you notice that just now? It was felt. Okay, so spelling wise, okay, this needs to change and it goes Let's do the F-E-L-T, felt. Okay. Lead is also an irregular verb. Okay, so what should it be? The simple past tense should be L-E-D, led, led. Okay. See is a very, very common word that you use. So the simple past is saw. Okay. Set is an irregular verb. Okay, irregular verb. So the is there any change? Or is there a different spelling? Is that was accepted? No. Okay, it's still set in simple past form. Now, okay, the next one, forsake. Forsake means abandon. Okay, so forsake, there is an irregular spelling word here, and that would be for shook or shook. Okay, did you get that? Okay, let's continue. On the same page, 259, okay, voices at play. We're going to start on task B now. The passage below recounts events that happened in the past. Underline the verbs that show the wrong tense. Write the correct form of the verb in the correction column. If no error can be found, place a tick in the column. Okay, so I'm going to use a red pen. Okay. Okay, let's take a look at the first line. Gina veered off the path that most other travelers took. She was. So I noticed that this veer is not in past, simple past. Okay, took, simple past. Okay, she was looking for adventure. Okay, past continuous. Because that is the action that she's doing. She was looking for adventure. So the correction should be simple past for veer, veered. How do you spell that? V-E-E-R-E-D. Veered. Okay. Looking for adventure and so rejected the options that appear convention. No. Okay. So in this line, appear is not simple past. Why? Because before that there is rejected. Therefore, in terms of the choice of the tense, then the second verb will be a base form, or in other words, infinitive. Okay. Um, so in this line, I think it is correct. Yet she is also afraid because this new route looks dangerous. Okay, so I can see that there is a simple past, a simple present here, a simple past for is was. This new route looks dangerous, so it should be looked, past tense. Many times Gina was not sure whether the path leads anywhere at all. So this should be led. Led. Okay? And it sometimes looked, okay, as if it was not a real route at all. Still, she comes. So that should be in the simple past tense. Come. Sorry, that didn't. Calmed Okay, and moving up, down by focusing on her dream. So focusing is correct. Okay, because that should be, it is correct. Okay, because of the word by, so it tells you the way that she is treating her dream, she's focusing on it. So this is how we do the task B uh, for the uh, editing portion. Okay, next. Uh, so let's recap what we learned today. Okay, today we you learn to use the simple past. Okay, we use the simple past to show that something has happened in the past, and to also learn that we change the forms of the verbs to indicate the simple past, and there are different guidelines that apply for the regular and irregular verbs. We also look through what are the simple past words inside the passage, The Great Mouse Plot. What should you do next? Uh, you can try doing the finding simple past examples in the passage Eric. So that's it for today.